people don't even realize it. But 90% of their energy every single day goes into feeding the problem. They wake up and immediately think about stress, about what's wrong, about who's to blame. And the more they focus on the problem, the bigger it gets until it feels impossible to move forward. But here's the truth. Problems don't keep you stuck. Your focus does. If you keep staring at what's broken, you'll stay broken. If you keep telling the same story about why life is unfair, nothing will ever change. Your life begins to change. The moment you flip the script, the moment you stop giving power to what's wrong and start putting your energy into what can be done, that's where solutions live. That's where growth begins. In this video, you're going to discover 10 habits that will rewire your mind to stop obsessing over problems and start creating real progress. We're talking about radical responsibility, training your focus, acting before fear grows, mastering your emotions, breaking the habit of complaining, and building consistency even when results feel slow. No fluff, no hype, just the raw mindset shift that takes you from stuck to unstoppable. Because the world doesn't reward those who complain the loudest, it rewards those who solve, those who move, those who refuse to stay the same. So let's get into it. Here's how you build the solution-focused mindset that transforms everything. Everything begins here. If you want a solution-focused life, if you want to break free from being stuck, the very first step is radical responsibility. Not half responsibility. Not I'll take control when it's convenient. Radical responsibility means you stop waiting for someone else to fix your life. And you decide right here, right now, that it's on you. Most people never cross this line. They live their entire lives in a loop of blame. They blame their childhood. They blame their boss. They blame their spouse. They blame the economy. And here's the harsh truth. Every time you point your finger outward, you hand over your power, you give away control of your own future, because if it's always someone else's fault, then it's also someone else's job to fix it. And if you're waiting on them, you'll be waiting forever. Responsibility doesn't mean you caused everything. It doesn't mean you deserved every hardship or that every setback was your fault. That's not the point. Responsibility simply means it's your job to deal with it now, even if the mess wasn't yours. The solution can be that shift. Owning what happens from this moment forward is what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. Think about it. The moment you take responsibility, you stop living in excuses. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop hoping for circumstances to magically change. Instead, you say, this is my life. It's not perfect, but I'm in charge now. That decision instantly changes the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you act. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two people both lose their job. One person spends weeks complaining, replaying how unfair it was, blaming the company, blaming the economy, blaming everyone. They stay stuck, the other person. They feel the same pain, but they take responsibility. Okay? This happened. What can I do right now? What skills can I sharpen? What opportunities can I pursue? One person waits, the other person builds. The difference isn't luck, it's responsibility. Blame is seductive because it feels easy. It lets you off the hook, but blame never builds. It only drains. And if you want growth, if you want progress, you cannot afford to waste your energy pointing fingers. You need that energy for solutions. Ask yourself, what are you avoiding by blaming? What pain are you protecting by staying a victim of your story? Because every time you explain why you're not where you want to be, you're reinforcing the problem instead of moving toward the solution. Taking responsibility will make you uncomfortable. It will force you to face truths you've been hiding from your habits, your patterns, your procrastination, your fear. But that discomfort is where growth begins. You can't improve what you won't own, and you can't solve what you refuse to confront. Here's the power and responsibility. The second you own it, you gain clarity. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, what can I do about it? That one shift changes everything. Because why me keeps you in the past. But what can I do pulls you into the present where action lives. And responsibility doesn't have to be dramatic. It's in the small choices. It's waking up and deciding to work on your craft instead of scrolling. It's choosing to take a walk instead of making another excuse about your health. It's reaching out to someone instead of complaining about loneliness. Every small decision compounds. Every choice to take ownership stacks up until one day you look around and realize your entire life has shifted. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if I take responsibility and still don't get the result? That's the beauty of it. Failure is information. When you own it, you don't collapse. You adjust. You don't hide. You learn. Responsibility keeps you moving, while blame keeps you stuck. Look at anyone who's built something meaningful: an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist, a leader. Every single one of them reached a point where they could have blamed, but they didn't. They said, it's on me. It's my time, my effort, my decision. That's what responsibility looks like. Not perfection, but ownership. And let me tell you this, you will never regret taking responsibility. You might regret blaming, you might regret waiting, you might regret the years you spent making excuses, but you will never regret saying, this is mine, I will handle it. Because even if you stumble, you'll grow. Even if you fail, you'll become stronger. That's how solutions are born, through people who refuse to let go of ownership. So here's your challenge. Today, catch yourself.